Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Tabitha Ishman, and I am the marketing manager at Excalibur Data Systems. And we are super excited to have you guys on the line to share some more insight about our new partnership with SigmaGO. SigmaGO is a mobile app for Cherwell end users and technicians. And as Excalibur is an implementation, sales, and training partner of Cherwell Service Management, we are truly excited for this partnership with SigmaGO and to share this great product with all of you guys today. So just a few things before we get started. The webinar is being recorded and you will receive a copy of today's recording in your email boxes tomorrow, so you can be on the lookout for that. The lines have been muted and questions will be answered after the presentation, so just please submit those questions in the chat window as we're going through the demo. And then first, I'd like to introduce Senior Solution Architect, Consultant, and owner of Excalibur Data Systems, Mike Fusong.
Thanks, Tabitha. Yes, we're so excited to have everyone on with us today, and so excited about our partnership with SigmaGO. I've known the team at SigmaGO for years and years and years, and they do so many cool things. And this is the latest, coolest thing that's out there. And we're really excited for you guys to be able to see what they've put together as far as a mobile app is concerned for Cherwell. So not only the great functionality that's there, which they'll be demonstrating, but the fact that we have both a technician application as well as a customer application, both for Android mobile phones and for the iPhones. One of the things that makes that so exciting for us as we've worked with customers is the ability for these things to be wrapped up and pulled into your MDM solutions to handle distribution and other security-based things that you want to be able to do. One of the great benefits that we really see with the SigmaGO applications is the ability to provide a true, very fast, as you'll see, mobile experience to not only our technicians, but also the fact that there is an application that will be available for customers as well. Mobile is something that can be key to a lot of customers. We see it in a lot of our various verticals that we work in, where technicians' ability to very rapidly be able to pick up and work on the items that are assigned to them. It can be such a great time saver and also reduce mean time to resolution and all the other things that we're all trying to do in providing better service to our companies. Some of the great things that are part of this are multilingual support. So there's many different languages that are supported within the SigmaGO applications. An offline mode, which they're going to talk to you a little bit about as well, which we think is really exciting for some of our customers, and location tracking, and so much more that you'll be able to see when we're going through this. So we'd like to introduce Anthony D'Ambrosio and Sridhar Reddy from SigmaGO, who are going to share with us the SigmaGO applications and their great features. So take it away, gentlemen.
All right, thank you for the introduction, Mike. My name is Anthony D'Ambrosio, and I'm the Business Development Director here at SigmaGO. And I'll be conducting the demo. And if you have any questions, again, just put them in the chat. We'll be more than happy to answer them. Okay, I'm going to share my screen in a moment. Okay, so just a couple things about our mobile app. We built an out-of-the-box framework for the end user and technician view. The framework is configurable, so if there are requirements that you have outside of what we've built, we can add them to the mobile app. The second thing is we are using the Cherwell REST APIs for the back and forth communication between the app and your Cherwell instance. There's also no middleware required to connect to your Cherwell instance. We are connecting directly to it, so whether you're on-premise or hosted, we can connect to both types of installation. Okay. And then finally is when we build the app, for your organization. We brand it based on your organization. So it'll be your color theme, your logo, your wallpapers, and your forms. So the walkthrough I'm going to go through today is just our out-of-the-box experience based on the framework we've built. And our goal was to accomplish what most organizations are needing in a mobile application. So I'm going to start with the SigmaGO's Technician App, which is in the middle of my screen. It's the blue icon called SigmaGO Tech. Okay, as the app loads, the screen just goes white with this meeting. And again. All right, start with it. Okay, so the app is loaded. So we support both Face ID and Touch ID login. So I've enabled Touch ID on my device. So I'm simply going to click on the fingerprint here. And I'm going to log in. Okay. It's going to take me directly into my instance. And the navigation bar is going to appear. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of walk through the interface from top to bottom. So across the top, you're going to see a scrolling bar. Those are problems that are published out to the portal view. So it gives a streaming ticker of the different problems that are going on in your environment. Underneath that, you're going to see a barcode and a gear. So we've enabled barcode scanning within our mobile app. So if you have configuration items such as printers or computers with the barcode, you can scan that barcode and bring up the details of that configuration item. Then from top to bottom, we have search, create ticket, nearby tickets, my tickets, and so on. So what we've done is we've built out the key searches that most technicians would need. So that would be the ability to search incidents and service requests, knowledge management, and CI. We've given a technician the ability to create a ticket on the fly on their mobile device. We then added nearby tickets for geolocation and proximity searching. And then you'll see the next are the 5 main queues a technician would have on their dashboard, which is the tickets that are assigned to them, tickets that are assigned to their team, any tasks that are assigned to them, and any tasks that are assigned to their team, and then pending approvals. So if that technician is on the cab or has any service requests that they need to approve, they would show here. Okay, and then next is the customer. This allows a technician to search the customer directory and look up contact details and also create tickets. And then system alerts. System alerts are what are scrolling across the top along that ticker. You'll be able to get more in-depth details about each of those individual alerts. And then we have a logout option. So I'm going to start with the barcode scanner. So I'm simply going to open up the barcode, and I'm going to scan a sample barcode. Okay. What you're going to see is a CI comes up. It's a computer. It's active. I can see who the user is, and I can see all the corresponding details. Okay. If I scroll down, I can see all the details such as CPU and so on. Now this form is configurable to show the details that you feel is relevant for your mobile user. Now, if I need to create a ticket based on the CI, I can simply click the Create Ticket button. What's going to happen is the Create Ticket window is going to appear. You're going to see a yellow bar, and that yellow bar identifies that this CI is now linked to this incident or service request, depending how I complete my request. I'm then able to specify a customer. So I'm going to pick myself. I'm then going to classify it. And what we've done is we brought in the service catalog that you would see in the self-service portal. We brought into the mobile app. So I could pick desktop management. I'll pick computer, and I'll click submit incident. What you'll see is the additional details. That would be your specifics forms. We just have some sample fields in there. So if I click on it, you'll just be able to see some sample fields. I'll be able to pick an owner. So I'm going to assign it to myself. I'm going to pick reporting. And I'll pick myself. I can set a priority by selecting the impact and urgency. So I'll say the impact is an individual and the urgency is low, which gives a priority of 5. And I'm just going to put sample ticket. And sample ticket. Okay. Now, if you have voice to text enabled on your device, you're able to do that as well. So you're able to speak into the ticket and it'll type up your description. What we also support is attachments. So I can simply click the attachment option. And when I do that, it'll ask me if I want to select a file or take a photo. I'm simply just going to take a photo of my phone with the barcode. I'm going to say OK. And then I'm just going to put sample image. So you're able to assign a unique file name to each of the attachments. Okay. And I'm going to click submit. Okay. So now I'm going to be given a ticket number. It's 108914, and the ticket's already been created. So as you notice, the experience is very fast, very responsive. It takes only moments to fill in the ticket. Obviously, if I wasn't doing it as a demo, I probably would have been done within a few seconds of creating this ticket. Okay. Now what I can do is I'm going to go back to my navigation pane. Okay. And I'm going to search. Okay. So if I want to search an incident or service request, I would type when I'm looking to search. I'm going to search computer. Okay. And you're going to see that sample ticket I just created at the top. Okay. And what you notice is green and red labels on the ticket. So my priority ones are going to be red, and my priority 3, 4s, and 5s are going to be green. And it's going to be based on the color coding that you have in Cherwell. Okay. So let's open up that sample ticket. So you can see all the information that was captured in the ticket. I can see the ticket number, the classification, the additional details, priority, and so on. Now you'll notice there's a couple things at the bottom. There's tasks. So now that I created this ticket, I can go and ask someone to complete a task. So I'm going to click on task. Okay. Say add new task. I'm just going to say sample task. I'm going to select the team. I'll pick third level. And I will pick, I'll just put sample. And I'll submit it. Now what I've done is I've created a sample, I've created a task and it's been attached to this particular incident. Okay. Now what you're also going to notice is, sorry about that, someone's trying to call me. All right, so you'll also notice there's an attachment option. So the attachment I just added, I can simply click on the thumbnail and it will automatically bring up the attachment. And if I need to, I can download it into my device. Now we support both, we support multiple file types. So if you have an Excel document, a Word document, or a PDF, you'd be able to download that document. And as long as you have the corresponding viewer, you'd be able to open it up on your device. One of the things you'll also notice on here is the location. So if I click on the view on map, okay, what it's basically going to do is going to take your location, and wherever that ticket was created, it's automatically going to let you know what the distance is to that location. Okay. Now at the bottom, you're going to notice some options. This technician notes. This is where a technician can log any information they need about the ticket, and it's only for the technician view. But then what we've also done is we added comments. What comments does is it creates some chat functionality within the app. So as a technician, I can send a message to the end user. I could say, hello, end user. And I can either ask them a question, let them know something about their request. And if they have the end user mobile app, they would get a push notification letting them know that the technician has added a comment. And the same goes for the end user. So if an end user adds a note to the ticket, it will then give a push notification to the technician. I also have the ability to resolve the ticket from here as well. Okay. And if you notice next to each of the values, there's an arrow that lets you know that each of those fields are editable, or you can expand into another window. Okay. Let's do knowledge. I'm going to search computer. So we are using the Cherwell out-of-the-box database and its content for this demo. So if I want to give some information about computer and build back my set of results, and I click on the BlackBerry 8800, you'll notice that the knowledge article within Cherwell says, here's how you would connect your BlackBerry 8800, and it'll have some text and images. Now, if you need to zoom in, you can simply just zoom in on the screen using your fingers, and you can zoom into the article to maybe view an image or zoom in on the text, and you can zoom out fairly easy. If I want to search the CMDB, I can do the same thing. So I'm just going to type computer. I'm going to search, and it's going to bring back an asset. And when I click on that asset, I'll be able to see the details. And I have the create ticket option here as well. Now, if a technician just wants to create a ticket outside of linking it to something else, they can come in by clicking create ticket. They can select the customer. Again, I'll log a ticket for myself. I will classify it. I'm going to put it as a printing issue, a desktop printer. And I'm going to say I'm requesting a desktop printer and select. Again, I'll get the additional details. So for instance, I could select the make. I can say it's a brother printer. The model is 2740. I need just one. And it's a scanner printer. And need one. Okay. And I can submit it. And now those additional details have been captured. So this is linking to your specifics forms on incident and service requests. Again, I can pick a team member. I'm going to pick myself. I'll set a priority, and for this one, I'll say must have, and expedite, because it's a service request. Okay, and sample. And I'll submit that, and again, I'll get a ticket number. So as you notice, between my earlier ticket and this ticket, I had two different priority matrices. I supported both the incident priority matrix and the service request priority matrix. So depending on the classification, we'll determine what kind of priority matrix you'll get in there. Now that I've created a few tickets, I'm now going to click on nearby tickets. So if I click on that, I'm going to get a list of any tickets that have been created within a 1/10 of a mile of my location. So you'll see that sample service request. I can click on it and open it up and get the details as I showed earlier. And if I want to see a pinned location on a map, I can simply click on the right-hand side, upper right-hand side, you'll see a little map and pin. I click on that, and now I get a pin view. And I can see all the tickets that have been created, and I can zoom in. Now let's go to the queues. So if I want to see all the tickets that are assigned to me, I would click on my tickets, and I'm able to see all the tickets. Okay. I'm able to see if they're priority 1 or lower priority based on the color coding, and I can click on any ticket at any moment and get some additional details. Now let's jump over to tasks. Now here are all the tasks that are assigned to me. Now if I click on the task, what I'm going to see is two pieces of information. First, I'm going to see the task information, and then I'm going to see the parent information of the incident. So I'm able to see both the parent and child within a single view. And now if I complete this task, I can simply mark it as completed. And the next thing I'm going to jump into is pending approvals. Now for most organizations, approvals are sent via email or someone directed to a self-service portal to complete an approval if you're using customer approvals. So if I was a technician and I needed to complete an approval, I could do this within the app. So I'm able to see my service request approvals and my change approvals. So I'm going to click on one of the approvals here, and I'm able to see, again, I'm able to see the parent-child relationship. So I can see the change request and all the corresponding information, and then I'm able to see any of the approval information as well. And then right from here, I can click deny or approve. And if I click on either one of them, it's going to ask for a reason I'm denying it. And if I click approve, it's going to ask for a reason why I'm approving it. Okay. And if I do the same thing with the service request, or especially a knowledge article, so this one I'm able to see the knowledge detail and the approval information. And I can approve or deny this knowledge article. And if I click on this last one, it's going to be a service request. And here again, I see the incident information and the approval information. And what's great about this is I know of many organizations that are having issues with approvals where they get lost in an email, someone overlooks them. And the biggest issue is people don't necessarily reply to them appropriately, which sometimes creates a duplicate ticket. This kind of removes that. And someone's able to easily see any of the pending approvals that they still have open that they need to address without having to figure it out or go to a self-service portal. The next thing I'm going to open up is the customer list. So here I'm able to view my customers, and I can search for a customer. So if I search for my name, click search, you see a set of results. So if I click on myself, I'm able to see my email address, my phone, my title, department, and company. And I'm also able to create a ticket right from here. Now again, these forms are configurable. So if you need more fields or less fields, we can easily add it to the form, depending on what information you're looking to expose in the mobile experience. If I click create ticket, what will happen is you'll see my details are already populated. All I need to do at this point is classify the ticket and fill in the rest of the information. Okay. Now let's go to system alerts. So at the top, I see them scrolling, but if I want more information, I'm going to click on system alerts. So the 4 that are scrolling across the top, I can now click on one of them. Now I'm going to click on the first one. Here I'm able to see the problem ID, what the information is about the ticket, what the workaround is, and what the resolution is. Now, for those of you that have the self-service portal configured, most of you have the out-of-the-box functionality of Affect Me Too. So if you click on Affect Me Too, what it's going to do is it's going to open up a ticket. Now, the assumption here is the technician is creating the ticket for somebody else. So it gives the ability for the technician to update who the customer is, who's going to own it, the priority, and other corresponding information. They can add an attachment or a description. For the end user, all this information is going to be populated. The only thing they have to fill in is the attachment if there's any that they need to add, and a description. And it'll automatically be associated with the problem. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump over to settings. I'm going to click on the gear. Now you'll notice in the settings there's a few options. So the first one is notifications. So we have device level push notifications. So if there's an approval that has to be approved, they can receive the notification. If there's a new ticket's been opened or a customer has added a comment, they'll get those push notifications, and they can be enabled or disabled depending on the type of notification you would like to send. And say if a technician is in a meeting or something, they can disable the push notifications and turn them on at any time. We also support Face and Touch ID. So I'm using my Samsung Galaxy, and I have Touch ID enabled, as I demonstrated earlier. So I'm able to use Face or Touch ID to log into the system. Now, the next 2 options you're going to notice are language and offline mode. I'm going to cover language first. So from the pull down, we have a bunch of languages out of the box, like English, German, French, Portuguese, Spanish, Estonian, Danish, Finnish, and so on. Now, if I wanted to quickly change the language, all I have to do is select it and look at Portuguese. And what you'll notice instantaneously is the labels have changed on the menus. If I click on the navigation pane, you'll notice that all the navigation options have changed into Portuguese. And if I click on any of the tickets, you'll notice that all the labels have changed and any corresponding supporting data. If you've entered something in English, it's going to stay in English. Now, however, if you are a customer that has globalization enabled, we can actually tie the language to the globalized data so that you will be able to view the information entered in the globalized version of that corresponding language. It doesn't require globalization to be enabled, but we do have multi-language support out of the box. Okay. Now, offline mode is the last function I'm going to cover in the Technician app. So when I click offline mode, it's going to ask me, do you want to switch to offline mode? I'm going to say yes. And when I say yes, what it's going to do is it's going to start downloading the key data that I need to create a new ticket while I'm offline, or view and update a ticket that's been assigned to me and the task. It also gives you the ability to search through the customer database as well. Okay? Now that the data is completed downloading, you'll notice at the top it says Go Settings, and it's in the color of gray. That means you're in offline mode. Now when I go to the navigation pane, you're going to notice that some of the items have been blacked out and some of them are white. If I click Create Ticket, I'm able to open up the ticket, and at this point, I can create a ticket. When I click on customer, I'm no longer going to see the thumbnails, because what we've done is we've downloaded the key data that we need to create a ticket. So I'm just going to pick this person. The service catalog is going to come up. It's just not going to have any images. And the reason being is we're just trying to download what's required. Okay. I'll say computer, and I'll say incident. I'll say select. I can set a priority. So all the supporting information I need, as you see, it's been cached. I can pick an owner. Submit it. Now, because I'm offline, it's not going to be given a ticket number until I go back online. So it's basically just going to queue this in your cache, and when you go back online, it will then go ahead and create the ticket and do all the corresponding work that's required. Now, one of the things to keep in mind with offline mode is the data is encrypted. It's the only time our device will actually store data on your locally. Other than that, when you're in online mode, there's no data stored. If a user doesn't sync their data within 48 hours, which is our out-of-box setting, what will happen is all the data will be purged in addition to any tickets that have been created or updated. This is to stop people from caching data for extended periods of time. So the second you go offline, obviously your data becomes out of sync, and also forces people to be in compliance to make sure that they are syncing their data if they are using offline mode within a reasonable amount of time. So I'm simply going to click OK. Okay. Now, when I click offline, when I disable offline mode, it's probably going to go really quick. You may not even notice it, but what's going to happen is it's going to sync my changes. And as soon as I do that, it sunk my data, it sunk my changes, it'll create the ticket for me. Now, since I enabled offline mode, I was obviously logged out of the system. So if I want to go back in, I'm just going to log back in. I'm going to click the fingerprint, and I'm going to log back in. All right, so that concludes the Technician app. Now, did you want to open it up to questions, Tabitha, or do you just want me to proceed to the end user app?
So we did have, will the support logging in with SAML?
I'm sorry, I missed that.
Will the support logging in with SAML?
SAML? Yes,
Yes.
we do support the different authentication models within Cherwell. So we do support SAML, we support Active Directory, LDAP, and Cherwell login.
Okay, and then another question was, is there an SLA indicator? What happens if you start a ticket but get interrupted or change screens? Will the ticket get created and saved, or will it be disregarded?
So if you change screens, your changes will be disregarded, but if you just switched over to another view, so if I open up the navigation pane or something like that, it'll still stay there, it'll still stay in the background, whatever view I was in last. But if you do change, you're going to lose whatever you're entering in, because as you're switching to a different view, you'd actually have to create the ticket at that point.
Okay, you can move into the next one if you would like.
Sure. Okay. So I'm going to click on here. We'll log out and log back in. So as you notice, the login and log out is pretty quick. We're able to quickly access the system and bring up all the relevant information. So as I log in as an end user, what you're going to notice is the experience is very similar to the technician. Okay. There's a few differences in there. So as the end user, what you're really looking to do is have the ability to have self-help or do a knowledge search, right? Some of the key things you would have in a self-service portal, such as be able to create a ticket, look at the status of your current ticket. Now, if you are using customer approvals, so if I'm a manager and I'm a non-licensed user and I have a service request I need to approve, or if I'm on a cab and I need to approve a change, I'll have the ability to do that as a non-technician or as a non-licensed user. So we support that in the app out of the box. In addition, we also have surveys. So most organizations struggle at getting good survey data or just having people complete surveys. So we've incorporated that into the app as well. They also have the ability to view any problems or alerts that have been published out for view, so we'll be able to view them in more detail. Okay. Now let's just start with a knowledge search. Here again, I'm just going to do computer as a search. Okay. I'm going to get the same set of results, and if I click on a particular result, I'm able to see the text and images that are in that knowledge article. Okay. Now, if I want to create a ticket as an end user, you'll notice that the form is different, and this is because even in your self-service portal, if you will have that configured, you're only really asking the end user to classify a ticket, give a subject and a description, and attach any required attachments. So again, they'll see the self-service portal. I'll click on printing, and I'll submit an incident. I have my additional details. I'm able to provide any additional details that are required in the specifics forms, and I can put sample ticket. And as an end user, I'm able to submit that, and I get a ticket created. Now, say I want to check the status of my ticket, I can simply go to My Tickets, and I can see the status of all of my tickets that have been created. And if I click on any of my tickets, I'm able to see the details I've logged. And if I need to add an additional attachment, I can do that. And if I want to add a comment, I can do that as well. So if I click on comment, here's a comment we saw earlier by the technician. And now I can say, hello, technician. And now the technician will get a push notification that an end user has added a comment. And it creates that back and forth dialogue. And again, the key thing here is if you're conversating via email, you have to parse through all those email conversations to understand what's been going on. Here you would have a very clean and concise dialogue with your end user. Okay. And as an end user, I can withdraw my ticket if it's no longer relevant as well. Okay. Now, anytime when I'm in the app, you're going to notice in the top right-hand corner, there's a little set of movie tickets with a plus. So the end user can click on that at any time, and it automatically will go to creating a ticket as well. Okay. And if they have any pending approvals, they'll be able to click on it. So let's click on approval for an end user. So I'm able to see the incident details and the approval details, the parent-child relationship. And again, these forms are configurable based on what you would like to expose to the end user. Surveys are great. These are configurable based on your survey questions. I'll be able to see the corresponding incident and the questions. So I can simply say 5 stars for everything. I can type in service, and I can submit my survey results and fill out the remaining surveys if needed. Okay. And system alerts, they're going to see the same thing that you saw earlier in the Technician app. If I click on the mainframe down, they're able to see all the details published out to them. And if they click Affects Me Too, you notice again, it looks very similar to the incident ticket for an end user. It's just, it already has the classification filled in. It already has the subject. All they have to do at this point is add an attachment if there is one that they need to add, and they can add a description and click submit, and it's automatically going to create that incident and link it to the problem. And for settings, we have the same functionality. You'll see notifications, touch ID, and language. You won't see offline mode here because an end user would not require offline mode. It's only for the technicians for creating and addressing their tickets. So that concludes the mobile app presentation. Just a couple key things. It does work on both Android and iOS devices. We do have 2 mobile apps, one for the end user and the technician. You don't have to purchase both. You can purchase just one or the other, or a combination of the 2. They are licensed separately. They are configurable with your branding, your color themes, your wallpaper. So it'll be all about you. It'll be your privacy statement as well. So if you do subscribe to the mobile app, we're going to configure it based on your branding and organization and your requirements. All right. Now, we did create a new mobile app, and it's for the Windows Store. It's in beta at the current moment. I'm going to quickly just demonstrate that as well. Would you be able to give me presenter rights? I don't seem to be able to have them.
Did you?
It's one more up on the
One
next
more
one.
up.
There we go. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So here we're able to see a Windows-based app, which will be published out to the Windows Store. And we've had a couple customers ask for this. So if you're using, like, say, a Microsoft Surface or a tablet, Microsoft tablet, you'll be able to use this app. In addition, we've had customers that have endpoints that don't have access to the internet. So they would like the ability for end users to be able to create tickets. So what we've done here is we built out the same experience that you see in the mobile app within this app as well. So if you have, like, a POS system that doesn't have internet access and you want someone to be able to quickly create a ticket based on a store location, if you're in the retail business, they can use this app. Now, the one we have here is for technicians. The next iteration will be for end users. What we've done is we built a more complex scenario, which has more functionality. As you notice, an end user will require less functionality, but you're able to click on a ticket, view its details, you can add notes, you can add attachments, you can expand the details here on the right-hand side and get additional details, and so on. You have your same queues that you've seen, your tickets, your team's tickets, your team's tasks, your tasks, your pending approvals, your customers, and system alerts. Okay. All right. Is there any additional questions that came up?
So,
Yes.
yeah. Okay, Mike,
Yeah,
you can
yeah,
ask this.
there was a question. So, could you could change approvals also be added to the mobile app? And then, as far as tasks are concerned, could those include tasks from other objects, not just incident and service requests?
Yes, they can. So the first question I missed, can you repeat that one more time? But I can answer the tasks first. So if you do have approvals from other business objects or tasks from other business objects, they will show because they're created on the task object, so they will show there. And you have the ability to reassign them and do the same thing you would do within the console.
Did that answer both questions? Yeah, it was about approvals for changes. Was the first question, and then tasks for change request or other objects.
Sure. So, as I showed earlier, there's an approval here. So if it's knowledge management, if it's incident service request change, are all going to show in the pending approval section.
And is there a minimum Cherwell version that is required?
So we're using the REST API functionality, so we do recommend 8 or newer. If you're using 9, that's even better because there's some additional functionality that's been added. If you're using version 9.7 or higher, they've added additional functionality, such as the ability to call one-steps. That's not supported in version 9.7. Earlier than 9.7, you just have to do API calls. So there is some different functionality depending on the version. One of the key things is that as long as the API stay consistent, if you upgrade to Cherwell, there shouldn't be any issues with your mobile app. And if anything does occur with a new version, we automatically provide you the support and the function and make the changes needed in the mobile app as part of your support and maintenance.
Where are the forms for the app configured, and how do the mobile tickets translate to the desktop web client?
So as part of the implementation, we configure the forms for you. For specific forms, you're able to configure those. We actually use a grid view, and at any time you can update your grid views and your specific forms will update. As part of the mobile app, we actually take the onus off of you, and part of your support and maintenance, if you do need to make some changes to a form, you need to add a field, remove a field, we do that for you. All you do is log the request and we'll turn that around for you, update the app, and republish it for you.
And Anthony, maybe you could expand on that. Is that additional cost to do some of those things?
For the most part, no. We would have to evaluate it, but for the most part, there's not an additional cost. So if you have a form and you say, I need to add 1 field or 2 fields to it because we have an additional requirement, you can simply log a ticket and we do it as part of your support and maintenance, which is included with your annual subscription of the mobile app.
Great. Now, are there alerts or push notifications that can be set up when objects are assigned to you?
Correct. So you have the ability to turn on and turn off different push notifications. So the example I used earlier is, say, if you have a pool that's been assigned to you, you can get a push notification. If you have a ticket that's been issued to you or a task that's been assigned to you, you can get push notifications on those as well. And we always going to advise the number of push notifications should be taken into consideration the same way you would send an email. You wouldn't want to burden somebody with lots of push notifications unless you deem it's going to accomplish something for them. But we can enable and disable push notifications based on your requirements.
Do you have any plans to add management functions such as reporting?
We do have that in the roadmap. So we are looking at creating some reporting options within the mobile app for upper management where they just want to view what's going on in the environment. So we are looking at creating an additional view for that.
What are the implementation costs and what is the yearly subscription cost?
So the annual subscription cost is going to be based on the number of users. So we have there's 2 licensing models, one for the end user and one for the technician. For the end user, it's based on a range. So we're not licensing it based on each end user. It's like from 1 to 2,000, and from 2,001 to 4,000, 4,001, and so on. So we have a starting cost for the end user of $5,000. That includes your requirement session, creation of the app, all the fees that are associated with Apple and Android to publish out your app, and it also includes your maintenance and support, and it goes up to $20,000 depending on the number of end users. And then it becomes an unlimited license. For the technician, we have a starting price, but we have a starting base price, and then it's $300 per user. So our starting price is $4,500, and that includes up to 15 concurrent users. And then depending on the number of concurrent users you require, it's $300 for each additional user. But we do have a minimum subscription fee, which covers the creation of the app, maintenance of the app, support, and so on.
Great. Are there additional questions that the audience has for Anthony? While we're here, I think I covered all the questions that have been asked thus far.
Anthony, you could talk about the nearby tickets feature and how that works.
Sure. So for nearby tickets, the way it works is I'm just going to switch back to my phone. Can you switch me to present on my phone?
So as you're talking about that, Anthony, we have one more question come in that's kind of along those lines. Are you able to track the technician's location?
As far as reporting back to like a dashboard to know where your technician is physically located, or are you just asking when we create a ticket as a technician to understand the location of that technician?
So I know you're going to show as a technician, items that are near me.
Yeah.
But maybe answer both questions.
Okay. So we don't have so at the current moment, we're not having the app report the physical location back to Cherwell so that you can see like where everybody's physically located, to have like a map view, one technician's in this location, a technician somewhere else. We're not doing that in that sense. But if a technician does create a ticket, we do pull the latitude and longitude and stamp it into the ticket, and the same for the end user. So the way the nearby tickets works is if you create a ticket on a mobile app, we pull the latitude and longitude and stamp it into the ticket. If you're the desktop client and you create a ticket, it's going to be based on whatever the key data is that you would use to log that latitude and longitude. So if it's an office location or a CI location, you'd be able to stamp that into the ticket, and you'd be able to determine that in the nearby view ticket view. Does that answer the question?
I think, did that answer that, Marcia?
Yep. And then the second part of the question, Mike, is, can I know the location of a technician? The answer is absolutely yes. I mean, we don't have it right now in the app, but since we are leveraging the nearby functionality based on latitude and longitude, what we could do is, like, let's say, Mike logs in from Pittsburgh, and once he logs into the application, the API can adjust the latitude and longitude of where Mike is and update a Cherwell business object. We are already doing this and capturing the information on the ticket, so we should be able to easily show that maybe on a custom business object and say, show me all the latitude and longitude locations and translate the locations of that particular user. Definitely possible.
Okay, cool. So other questions from anyone?
Anthony, I was going to ask, so if a customer doesn't want to put the app in the App Store, can they deploy it internally with their firewall?
Yes. So for on-premise customers that are behind a firewall, you're not required. We can provide the APK for the Android and also the same file for Apple devices, and you can use your mobile deployment solution to your MDM solution to push the app out to your devices. If you want it in the store, we can push it out to the store. So if you're hosted or if your show is exposed externally, you can download the app from the store.
And then what kind of authentication methods are supported with SigmaGO, the app?
We support all of the same authentication models that you would use in the rich client or in the self-service portal. So we support SAML, we support LDAP, we support Active Directory, and we support the Cherwell login.
And Tabitha, on following up on the question, we would like you to imagine this app as a key component of Cherwell. So it could be the same behavior as if you're using your Cherwell system. The same behavior is mimicked on the mobile app. So if you have external customers, if you're an MSP customer or a hospital who has contractors who may not have Active Directory accounts and you provision Cherwell accounts, they could log in with Cherwell accounts. So if you're using Active Directory, you use Active Directory login. That works well. SAML. So whatever the mechanism that you're using to authenticate in your Cherwell system is mimicked in the mobile app.
Yes, while this is a separate application, Sridhar, that's installed on the mobile, since you're leveraging the API, this is to not oversimplify it. This is just another way to view and interact with Cherwell, just like the web client or the install client.
Absolutely right on.
That is correct.
We can think that this is like you're accessing using your Cherwell browser. It's like a different interface to the same application.
And then Anthony, does the app support globalization in their Cherwell system?
Yes, it does. If you have your system globalized, we can support that. And we already have the language functionality built into the mobile app.
Another question would be, do you need any middleware for the apps?
So there's no middleware required to connect directly to your Cherwell instance. The only third-party application we're using is Firebase from Google, and that's just for the push notifications. But that's not required in order to use the mobile app. That's just for the push notifications only. We connect directly to your Cherwell instance.
All right. I also am going to share my screen just so everyone can have a copy of my email if they have any additional questions. So my email is on the screen now if you do have any additional questions for all of those viewers here with us today, and I will get those over to Anthony or Sridhar, and then we will be able to reply back to you. And then Anthony, did you have anything that you would like to close with?
Sure. So if you're interested in the mobile app, you can reach out to Excalibur or us directly, and we'll assist you with providing any additional demos that you need internally to get other departments on board. And we do offer POCs if you do need a POC of the mobile app. We do have that as an option, so you can actually try the app out ahead of time.
Well, thank you, Anthony and Sridhar, for joining us today and sharing what I think is a very, very cool, innovative product to help all of us with our Cherwell platforms. Thank you to everyone that took the time out to attend and take a look at SigmaGO. And we look forward to hearing from many of you in digging a little deeper and possibly leveraging this great new technology. Thanks, everyone, and have a fantastic day.
Thank you.